Yo, it's Mo Flava. You're here for the catch-up, right? Nice one. Always good to have you back. But don't forget, the real vibe happens on 947, weekdays 9 a.m. to 12. In the meantime, kick back and enjoy more of the good stuff right here on Prime Media Plus.
You're listening to Mo Flava on 947.
So over the last couple of days, I've been inviting you to nominate a teacher that you highly appreciate. A teacher that perhaps is your kid's teacher, or maybe a neighbor that you know is a really great teacher at the school. Anyone really, a family member that's a teacher. Let's show them love. And so far we've been getting some really great entries and nominations, because we have to give teachers their flowers. They absolutely deserve it. They're doing phenomenal work. But what I want to do in the midst of that today is talk to you about something a teacher taught you or shared with you that actually never left you. Because yes, you go to school, you get to learn academic things, cultural things, sport, you name it. It's a mixed bag of stuff school, is made of. So there are teachers that actually leave a mark that truly stays with us forever. I remember a Mr. Clark back in primary school, because I went to Cliffview Primary School in Fairland. And Mr. Clark took us for maths and PE, physical education. I don't know what they call it these days. Anyway, now, yes, academically, I don't even remember, what that experience was like being taught by him. But you know what I remember? How much he loved his kilogram steak. Like literally in every lesson, Mr. Clark would talk about how we need to hurry up and finish our schoolwork so that at the end of the day, he can go home and have his kilogram steak. Would go through a week of school and he'd be like, you know what I'm going to do this weekend? I can't wait to have my kilogram of steak. And the impact of that is plain and simple. He's the man that got me into steaks. I mean, at that age, wasn't really into steaks, but the one thing I knew I wanted to do when I was a little bit older was to taste a kilogram steak. And I remember, I think it was at Spur when I was like, listen, I asked my parents to get me a kilogram steak that I never finished. And that's the thing. And the way he would describe it, it was just like incredible. And I think for me, it was about the reward at the end of the day for him. All he cared about was his kilogram of steak. So much so that it even rubbed off onto me, where that's pretty much all I ever order when I go to restaurants. You can even ask them there at Spur. They'll tell you. So that stayed with me. It stayed with me forever. And it's amazing that sometimes it's not even the academic stuff or life lessons. It's other things. It's habits. It's, interests even that rub off onto you and stay with you forever. So what's that one thing that your teacher taught you or shared with you that stayed with you till this day? If you remember their names at least, or surname and the school. And hopefully, we can get some good memories flowing through this morning.
Are you ready?
This
is
947.
Some things never leave you. They leave a mark that lasts forever. But you know what? Teachers do it better than most. Hey, listen, they compete with your grandparents in terms of indelible marks. Whether it's by way of something they taught you, something you learned from them, whether it's academic or just about life. I spoke about Mr. Clark earlier, one of my primary school teachers at Cliffview Primary, the man that made me love steaks. Not because I used to have steak with him, no, because that's all he ever spoke about. Eh? How's that? Of all the things I'm supposed to remember in the maths class, the only thing I remember is a kilogram steak. Oi, oi, oi.
I don't necessarily have anything specific that stuck with me from school, but I just wanted to say it's quite ironic that you mentioned Mr. Clark. I was born in 2004, and my grade R teacher, also in Cliffview Primary School, was Mrs. Clark. I don't know if they're related, but Cliffview Primary School was a beautiful, beautiful primary school, and I think there's a lot that we could take away from any teacher at that school.
I absolutely agree on how brilliant Cliffview Primary School is. And you know what? I've always suspected that there were a couple. But you know, when you're a kid, you don't always have the the courage to ask such questions, to say, Mr. Clark, is Mrs. Clark your wife? You know what I'm saying? But it was a suspicion, and it might be that indeed they were a couple.
Morning, Mo Flava. For me, there was Mr. Simela. We were in grade 5, and then he taught us to dress up. It was a service day, and then he was like, you can't be wearing this and these colors, these and those colors don't go together. The combination, till today, I just don't wear nje. I make sure that whatever I'm wearing matches or the color coordinates with whatsoever. My color combination when dressing till today.
Yeah, I agree with you. Appearance was everything. And as much as we all wore uniform, but there was a way that uniform ought to be rocked. So yes, even how to dress properly, that's something that stays with you.
Good morning, Mr. Mo Flava. You know, back in primary school, I remember Mister Mota. He used to eat his lunchbox, but he will never throw the leftovers away. He will take them back home. And one day I asked him, why do you always take your leftovers home? Do you have dogs? He said, no, I don't have dogs. But when I get home, before I enter by the gate, I throw the leftover rice or either the pap that I have at the gate, and my birds will eat there. So he said when he comes from work to home, he will get a lineup of birds waiting for him. They even know his time. So I took that when I grew up, and I'm always doing that. To tell you the honest truth, when I wake up in the morning, I have this nice, sweet melody of birds lining up, waiting for me to feed them. And I took that from Mister Mota. May his soul continue to rest in peace.
I mean, just listen to that. Isn't that just a beautiful story? You know, Mister Mota leaves a mark where this gentleman now knows how to relate to birds, something that perhaps he never even cared to pay attention to in the first place. That's just brilliant, man. All right, let's get more stories in. What you learned from a teacher that stood and stayed with you forever.
947.
So you want to know where I learned the old-fashioned idiom, woe betide? Well, it was a certain Mr. Klein, who was the principal at Northcliffe High, which is the high school that I went to. So maybe let me explain what woe betide means. It is an old-fashioned idiom. It is used as a stern warning that trouble or punishment or something bad will befall anyone if they do something specific. For example, bad things will happen to you if you. So every time during assembly, because there's always that moment during assembly where, you know, the principal has to tell you about all the bad things that are happening in the school. Mr. Klein would be like, and woe betide anybody who breaks the school rules or brings trouble to the school. Every single assembly. Woe betide, woe betide, woe betide. And then one day I'm like, hang on a second, let me go and look this thing up. And boom, that's what it meant. And it stuck with me because I cannot tell you how many times I've used that idiom, woe betide. I mean, for the life of me. Huh? Yeah.
Hey Mo, I used to like math, just general school math and stuff. But when I was in high school and I was in grade 11, my high school teacher, Mr. Tez, made me move from liking to skyrock, loving it. And I believe it was because of how he taught me and how to take math and how to understand the numbers. It made me love math so much that even in my studies, everything that has to do with math just wakes me up because of the love that I had. And even in doing industrial engineering, I still feel so much in love. I'm currently doing Bachelor's of Science, measuring in maths.
Wow.
I'm a tutor, I'm teaching international students maths, and I love it. And I always think about him every time. I'm like, oh, this guy made me love math so much.
Brilliant. That is exactly what I'm talking about.
Hey Mo Flava, you're speaking to Prince. I went to Eden College in Lyndhurst, and I have two memories to educators. The first was my grade 4 teacher, Mrs. Hazel Block. She would say to me that in life there are consequences. It is like throwing a stone into a pond. there are ripple effects. So in everything you do it carefully and understand there are consequences. And then as I got older, in high school, my accounting teacher, she's no longer with us, but her name was Miss Elsa Olivier. She would say that empty vessels make the most noise. So educators, things they say, they really do stay with you and they form who you are as a person. And to this day, I stand by those two mantras. Great show as always.
Thank you so much. And this is the point of this conversation, isn't it? To just reflect on those things that you learn from your teachers that stayed with you forever. So, yeah, indeed. On my end, God bless Mr. Clark at Cliffview Primary for getting me into kilogram stakes. And Mr. Klein, who was a principal at Northcliffe High, for introducing me to the phrase, woe betide. Yeah?
Hi, Mo. Probably off topic, but yes, Cliffview Primary is amazing. Both my kids have been there and yeah, I can vouch for that.
Yeah, let's see what culinary delights they'll learn about from the brilliant Cliffview Primary School.
Mo Flava on 947.